Now on 767 News, Dominica and the EU to sign visa-free waiver to Schengen states. Public Works employees lock corporations' gates in protest, and Ministry of Health pilots eye screening program at 2 primary schools. In sports, Dominica and St. Lucia draw in Windward Island football tournament. Welcome to 767 News, Dominica's #1 news source. I'm Alicia George. Stay tuned for the latest stories and developments across Dominica after this break. Be part of the excitement. Tune in to the Tiny Green Show every other Monday on Digicel Play TV, Channel 3. Accurate, dependable. We go where others have not gone before. We bring you in-depth reporting on the stories that matter. Tune in weeknights from 8:30 p.m. to 767 News, with repeats at 10:30 p.m. and 6 a.m. the following morning. 767 News, Dominica's #1 news source, only on Digicel Play TV, Channel 3. Thanks for joining us. In tonight's newscast on May 28, 2015, representatives from the government of Dominica will travel to Brussels in Belgium to sign a visa-free travel agreement between the island and the European Union EU Council of Ministers. The Schengen space consists of 22 European Union member states and 4 non-members: Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Switzerland. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, during a press conference on Tuesday, said the agreement will facilitate visa-free travel for citizens of Dominica to the Schengen states. Prime Minister Skerrit said this signing demonstrates the level of the relationship that Dominica shares with the European Union.
I believe this is great news for all Dominicans. It would certainly facilitate our ability to travel, and we want to thank the European Union for this, and certainly it demonstrates the level of relationship which we have with the European Union, the respect that they have. Because understand this visa free hasn't been taken lightly by the European Union. They have to do their own independent investigation and assessment of the security of your passport. They also ask questions about our economic citizenship program. Look at the system, look at the due diligence process. So a number of variables were taken into consideration.
Prime Minister Skerrit explained that news of the waiver-free agreement has been long in coming and required a lot of negotiations.
It had to do a lot of negotiations. As you know, the European Union has many processes, many steps that to go through. You had to go to the Council of Ministers, or had to go to the European Parliament, had to go back to national governments and so forth. So it's a long process on the side of the European. But they finally set a date. We've gotten formal communication on this, and we will be present in Brussels to sign this agreement with the European Union.
Among the Schengen member states are Austria, Belgium, Czech Republic, Denmark, France, Germany, Greece, Italy, Norway, Switzerland, and Sweden. In other stories, a number of employees from the Public Works Corporation, PWC, on Wednesday, May 13th, locked the gate to the entrance of the compound as they staged protest action. The employees said this was as a result of them not being paid for 2 months.
Well, the struggle is on with Public Works workers. Well, to tell you the truth, my boy, I mean, Mother's Day passed and things, so all kind of fete it have passed in. Public Works workers can never enjoy the fete. Trust me, we all have children and our bills to take care of, and we're in a tight situation. Yeah, the struggle is on.
The employees said they are never paid on time, which results in late payments to financial institutions who they are committed to. This in turn results in an increase in the late fee penalties charged by the financial institutions, which is unfair, according to a PwC employee.
Serious vibes, I'm telling you.
Excuses that you're getting from management for the delay in payment?
Well, like I said, all time he passes, he's scratching his head. He's scratching, that's what we get in. Yeah. And they fail to have a meeting with the workers, and that's our problem, they all know.
What is he telling you?
Nothing at all. Nothing at
No
all.
communication between the
Nothing at all. We don't know what, here the money stop. If it go under the water or whatever, they cannot find it. But we no meeting at all.
The employees said this long-standing issue needs to be resolved as soon as possible, as the numerous attempts to get the relevant authorities to adequately address the situation seems to be falling on deaf ears. Reports also indicate that the Social Security contributions are being deducted from their salaries. However, upon inquiring at the Social Security office, they confirmed that payments are not being made on behalf of the employees. They also said that since the December 8, 2014 general elections, the new Public Works Minister, Honorable Ian Pinard, is yet to host a meeting with them, which they regard as disrespectful. The employees staged a similar protest on January 9th of 2014, where they also voiced their dissatisfaction in late payment of salaries, among other issues. Efforts to contact General Secretary of the Dominica Public Service Union, Thomas Later, who represents the employees, proved futile. And Police Public Relations Officer ASP Claude Wicks says the police's intervention in the Salisbury road blockade and protest on Monday, May 11th was in no way political. In an interview with 767 News on Wednesday, ASP Wicks said the police officers were simply carrying out their duties as custodians of the laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
We, of course, under the Public Order Act, advise and warn the people that they should leave, go home, unblock the road. It's an illegal activity. It's not right, it's unlawful, and as such. But, of course, they insisted, and by virtue of their persistence, we had to measure out, and having operated under the Public Order Act, we had to disperse the crowd with a view to unblocking the road.
ASP Wicks said although the police officers faced heavy resistance from the protesters, they succeeded in removing the roadblock to restore the flow of traffic. He said the officers were hit with numerous stones and bottles by the protesters even after the road was cleared.
We are thankful that God intervened, that no one was killed. I see the potential as a senior person on the ground, the potential for fatalities in that particular protests with respect to the blockage of the road. Vehicles were damaged, and not only our vehicles, civilian vehicles were damaged. I don't think any vehicle was immune, including the Salisbury Catholic Church. Came under barrage of stones as well. I mean, the indiscriminate the volley of stones and missiles.
The senior police officer said despite individuals saying otherwise, the police officers exercised a significant amount of restraint and patience in dealing with the protesters. He said their operations that day displayed an example of true professionalism by the police force.
As we've always said, we're not at war with the public, and we don't expect the public to be at war with us, but at the end of the day, we have a job to do, and a job to do within the parameters of the law, and that is exactly what we did on the day in question.
Since Monday's protest, the village of Salisbury has been relatively peaceful. Up next, government social programs to continue, says Prime Minister Skerrit, and Ministry of Health pilots eye screening program at 2 schools. More details when 767 News returns.
Shopping is a lot easier with Courts Ready Finance. Choose what you want from our wide range of quality products, and we take care of the rest. Courts Ready Finance's affordability means there's no deposit. There's no need for a lump sum of cash. It's flexible, which means you choose your payment term and you're guaranteed the lowest monthly payments anywhere. Best of all, it's easy. Easy to get and easy to pay. Shop at Courts today and get what you want hassle-free. Courts Ready Finance. Easy, affordable, flexible.
Welcome back. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has indicated that the 2015-2016 national budget will not see any changes as it relates to government's social programs. The Prime Minister assured the public that his administration will continue to focus on providing citizens 70 years and older with a monthly stipend, transportation for primary and secondary school children, and continuation of the public assistance program. The Yes We Care program, he said, will also remain unaffected. According to the Prime Minister, as a matter of fact, his government, following a review of the program, is now seeking to improve on the services being offered.
We are looking at ways that we can even improve on the delivery of services to the senior citizens on the Yes We Care program. Having done a review of it, there'll be some changes made, but changes to enhance the program. Not in any way to affect it negatively, but to enhance the program.
The Prime Minister took the opportunity at Tuesday's press conference to address several other issues, including the ongoing Citizenship by Investment Program, CIP. Prime Minister Skerrit said the country's CIP program has been considered by the United States government as a model for the Caribbean, even as several Caribbean countries are being monitored for similar initiatives. He said as long as the program is properly regulated and managed, he does not foresee any more measures being taken to have the program altered.
We have been working in the United States for the last 4 or 5 years on the Economic Citizenship program. And they've been very helpful to us, and we've implemented a number of important changes. Our due diligence process is robust because I believe while the money that we get from the program is good to the country, we have to ensure at all times, with no exception, that this program can stand the test of scrutiny by any independent agency.
Prime Minister Skerrit said he is not prepared to tarnish Dominica's name within the international market and has therefore ensured that strict measures are adopted under the Citizenship by Investment program. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister said to date the government has managed to keep the state of the economy stable and has been able to meet its commitment as it relates to the provision of goods and services and payment of debts and salaries.
We always maintain the prudent and responsible management of the state economy is critical. We do not have the kind of fiscal space as a developed country to maneuver. And therefore, any action you take can have a huge impact on the way you conduct business. And also, you have to be mindful of the external shocks. For example, we have monies from the European Union, but the euro has been so weak against the US dollar.
The Prime Minister said the government continues to work even as global changes on the dollar causes decline in funds allocated for various projects. Prime Minister Skerrit referenced the funding of the East Coast Road project, where the exchange rate of the euro-dollar has declined so significantly that the project is short EC $4 million. In other news, an eye screening program which was announced by Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit in 2013 has been listed as one of several achievements by the Ministry of Health to date. The eye screening program, which was recently piloted at 2 primary schools on island, will allow primary and secondary school students to undergo eye tests and recommendation for eye examinations and surgery by a medical eye doctor. Helen Royer, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Environment, said they have already engaged personnel in starting groundwork on the program before a team from Cuba arrives in Dominica to officially begin the eye screening.
To date, we have had a coordinator appointed and 3 staff nurses working alongside with our district health team. They have actually piloted and together with our own consultant, Dr. Shillingford Ricketts. They have actually piloted the program in 2 primary schools, and based on the results, I was informed through the report that actually they got cases where children really need glasses, so they have ruled out that there is really a need to do that program.
Royer said that parents and teachers are well informed about the initiative and most consent forms have been signed. The required equipment has been purchased and cleared and is ready for use by trained medical staff.
We intend to launch the program, starting off with the media campaign and informing persons exactly what is going to be done from when. And I think very soon we'll be informing you when the Cuban team will be here to start this very important program. But I was very pleased to know that based on the pilot project, that they have already seen persons that were referred to the eye specialist for glasses. So you can imagine if they just did a small fraction and they could get that amount of children needed the care, you can well imagine if we have to do the program in the whole country.
Additionally, the government of Dominica has referred 178 children under the age of 21 to St. Vincent under the World Pediatric Emergency Care Project.
From 2008, Dominica started benefiting from this project. And to date, we have sent over 178 children have been referred to St. Vincent, which is the hub for the OECS. We have had 7 open heart surgery, and we have had about over 40 other surgeries in different areas for children.
The World Pediatric Emergency Care Project is headed by Dr. Rhonda McIntyre. The Ministry of Health has also developed and drafted a number of policies and manuals for dental health, infection control, pharmaceutical care, and chronic non-communicable diseases, and has approved a national nutrition policy, among other areas. And President of the Dominica Manufacturers Association, DMA, Jean-Yves Bonnier, says the association is focusing on increased membership in addition to improving on quality manufacturing on the island. Bonnier recently made the statement in an exclusive interview with 767 News.
We need to gather all the energies that are available on island so we can pursue our goals. Our goals really is to improve standards, quality, production, and we know that we can do it on some specific niche markets that are available to our exports. That's we want to grow our exports, and we want to also substitute part of the importations by locally manufactured products.
Bonnier said this can only be achieved with the collaboration of the manufacturers and consumers on the island. He said there is certainly room for improvement in the quality of products manufacturers produce on island.
We will not be able to export if we don't comply with international standards. That's something that we should be conscious about. We have a lot of creativity, a lot of innovation on island, a lot of small products that are manufactured like we talked about today, once a year or just for a village feast. Those products can be turned into industrialized products that could do very well on our domestic market, but also on our export markets.
The DMA president explained that there is need for manufacturers to get involved in the agro-processing industry as the island still has a strong agricultural base. He said the DMA will be working closely with the Ministry of Agriculture and farmers to transform products into high-value items for export.
The message is very clear. Just continue to believing in our potential. As Caribbean people, we might be small, but we are usually very resilient and very creative. Bring ideas. I think everybody should accept to share ideas, to gather energies, to bring expertise into making small but valuable projects for the development of Dominica.
Bonnier said it is important that local businesses join forces to use the limited resources available to take advantage of the local and regional markets. Moving along, on Sunday, May 10th, mothers around the world celebrated Mother's Day and enjoyed special attention for the day. The mothers of Roseau and environments were no exception to those heartfelt gestures. The Roseau Improvement Committee, led by Norris Prevost, decided to go the extra mile and serve up a feast for mothers from that area. Prevost, who is the president of the committee, gave a special welcome and happy Mother's Day greeting to the mothers, imploring them to care for themselves.
I want to say to you, the mothers, that you are very special and you always will be very, very special. But most of all, I would like to ask you to recognize and to believe and to know that because you are special, you have to begin to treat yourself very, very special. Make a commitment that if you care for your family to the extent that you love your family and you want to bring up a strong and healthy family, the first thing you have to do is care for yourself, look after your health.
The ladies were served a lunch and dessert with some light entertainment at the Harlem Plaza on Sunday. And that's it for local news. The latest in sports is coming up next with Larry, so stay tuned.
Shopping is a lot easier with Courts Ready Finance. Choose what you want from our wide range of quality products and we take care of the rest. Courts Ready Finance's affordability means there's no deposit. There's no need for a lump sum of cash. It's flexible, which means you choose your payment term and you're guaranteed the lowest monthly payments anywhere. Best of all, it's easy. Easy to get and easy to pay. Shop at Courts today and get what you want hassle-free. Courts Ready Finance. Easy, affordable, flexible.
Good evening and welcome to 767 Sports. In tonight's coverage, we begin with football. Dominica showed character to earn a hard-fought draw to start their campaign in the Windward Island Men's Football Tournament on Tuesday evening in St. Lucia. Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Football Association, Gerald Judge, has the details.
St. Lucia scored in the 19th minute of play for a 1-0 advantage at the interval. Glenroof Elize got the equalizer for the Nature Boys in the 83rd minute of play. Earlier, St. Vincent and the Grenadines edged out Grenada 3-2.
Dominica will play its second match on Thursday, May 14th against Grenada at 5 p.m.
Meantime, Petro-Caribe, Point Michelle and Exodus Boys are through to the semi-finals of the DFA All-Island League. In the first match of a doubleheader at the Baffin Field, Point Michelle edged out Buster Warner 2-1. Daniel Dupinis scored for Point Michelle in the 12th minute of play to give his team a 1-0 advantage at the interval. In the 21st minute of the second half, Irvin Bruno scored from a spot kick outside the 18-yard box to equalize for Warner. But with time running out and both teams pressing for that all-important goal, Warner buckled under pressure to score an own goal to send Point Michelle to the semi-finals. In the second match of the night, Exodus Boys defeated Goodwill All-Stars 4-3 to claim the last semi-final spot. Lama Philip netted twice for Exodus, with one each coming from Kevin Christmas and Kisha Tuse. Dehan, Augustine, Marshall, Ovison and Ashton Robbins scored for Goodwill All-Stars.
The first semi-final took place earlier this evening between Ian Pinard Soufriere Spartans and Wayne George Academy. On Friday at 6 p.m., it will be Petro-Caribe Point Michelle versus Exodus Boys at the Bath Estate playing field.
And in the DFA Sports Division Secondary School Girls League, Wesley High School defeated Fairchild Secondary 2-0 at the Lindo Park on Tuesday. Onisha Deluge scored both goals for Wesley High School.
In basketball, Interschool fell to Police Sports Club once again in their second matchup of the season, which took place last Saturday evening at Lindo Park. Police Sports Club outscored Interschool in all four quarters, leading 33-25 at halftime. In the third quarter, Police extended the lead to 12, heading into the fourth quarter with the scores at 51-39. At the end of the fourth quarter, Interschool put up 19 points while Police scored 27. Final scores: Interschool 58, Police Sports Club 78. Top performers for Police were Marlon Hillier 23 points, 2 steals, 2 blocks and 1 rebound. Kerry Christmas 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 steals, 1 assist and 1 block. Jason Timothy 10 points, 8 rebounds and 2 steals. Top performers for Interschool were Edmond Williams Jr. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 1 steal and 1 block. Joshua Henderson 14 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds and 1 steal. John James recorded a double-double with 10 points, 11 rebounds and 2 steals. In more basketball, in the second matchup for the season held at the Lindo Park last Saturday, it was E.H. Charles Crossover who were victorious over Sideman X-Men. After losing the first matchup by 14 points, Crossover returned the favor, defeating X-Men by 14 points. Crossover led for most of the game and in the first quarter leading 17-13. At the end of the first half, Crossover led by 3 points with scores at 39-36. Crossover kept the lead for the rest of the game, outscoring X-Men in the third quarter 16-12 and 20-13 in the fourth quarter. Final scores: E.H. Charles Crossover 75, Signman X-Men 61. Top scores for Crossover: Kelsey Guy 20 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal and 1 block, shooting 75% in field goals. Sergi Joseph 19 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists and 1 block while shooting 90% in field goals. Mikre Edwards 16 points, 6 rebounds, 6 steals and 2 assists. Top scorers for Signman X-Men were Peter Ricketts 21 points and 6 rebounds, Ted George 8 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals and 2 assists. And in volleyball, intense action took place on Sunday as rivals DB's Aces and Signman Celtics took to the courts to battle. Zaidu Henry, fresh off a volleyball tour of Antigua, looked in fine form, leading the team in scoring 11 points consisting of 7 aces and 4 kills, while captain Ana Maria Xavier added 9 points and 5 aces, including 3 kills and a block. Marcia Gustav of the Celtics led the team with 11 kills and an ace. The rivalry took another turn when the Celtics, who seemed to be more prepared, shocked the Aces to upset their unbeaten streak. Final scores: 25-18, 21-25, 25-7 and 25-22. The male division of these two teams contested each other following the game, where DB's Young Vets defeated Celtics with scores 25-11, 25-15, 21-25 and 25-9. And that's it for tonight's sportscast. Tune in again tomorrow for more sports.
That was Larry with the latest in sports. Now for a recap of tonight's headline stories. Dominica and the EU to sign visa-free waiver to Schengen states. Public Works employees lock corporations' gates in protest. And the Ministry of Health pilots eye screening program at 2 primary schools. In sports, Dominica and St. Lucia draw in Windward Island football tournament. And that's all the time we have for now. Until tomorrow, drop us an email at media@767news.dm, friend us on Facebook, and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us on the 767 News production team, I'm Alicia George, wishing you a wonderful evening, and thanks for watching.
Boom, Miss Sinai, it's my time to get on bad when I jam in at everybody. Come celebrate with me, but if you don't know me yet, don't worry, man, we go take a jam in a party. Yeah, put one hand in the air. 767 News.